Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome back to another legal breaking reporting and video analysis update. Pete Hegseth, in a reporting that was recently released today by The Hill, has caused potential harm. Let's get into this reporting that's read by an automated voice to us. So we will be taking a look, a read, as well as a listen. Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as enjoy. And let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hegseth risked potential harm to U.S. pilots in using signal to discuss strikes, by Rebecca Bache. A report from the Department of Defense's DoD watchdog, released publicly Thursday, found Secretary Pete Hegseth endangered troops and violated department policy in using his personal cell phone to send classified information about a pending strike on Houthi targets in Yemen. The report, first shared with lawmakers Wednesday, added fuel to a chorus of criticism of Hegseth's leadership of the department amid scrutiny of his handling of strikes on boats in the Caribbean. The report from the Pentagon's Office of Inspector General (OIG) uses staid language, but makes clear its conclusion that Hegseth risked the lives of his service members by sharing classified information outside of the proper channels. The Secretary sent non-public duty information identifying the quantity and strike times of manned U.S. aircraft over hostile territory over an unapproved, unsecure network approximately 2 to 4 hours before the execution of those strikes, the report states. Using a personal cell phone to conduct official business and send non-public duty information through signal risks potential compromise of sensitive duty information, which could cause harm to duty personnel and mission objectives. Hegseth has the power to declassify information and claimed he did so ahead of the chat, where he sent specific timelines, targets, and even the weapons to be used in a group chat on Signal with other high-ranking Trump administration officials, as well as an editor for The Atlantic who was inadvertently added to the chat. But the report concluded that regardless of whether the information was classified, sharing it outside of the proper channels risked its interception, therefore endangering those involved in the pending strikes. Although the Secretary wrote in his July 25 statement to the DoD OIG that there were no details that would endanger our troops or the mission. If this information had fallen into the hands of U.S. adversaries, Houthi forces might have been able to counter U.S. forces or reposition personnel and assets to avoid planned U.S. strikes, the report concluded. Even though these events did not ultimately occur, the Secretary's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. Hegseth on Wednesday night claimed total exoneration from the IG report in a post on social media platform X Developing.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, a quote from the Adam Smith, Democrat from Washington, says Secretary Hegseth should resign for having so blatantly violated the most basic rules of procedures. In the report, it says that he placed troops at risk and in an incredibly simple way. A way that everybody should understand. The top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee said, quote, ladies and gentlemen, and he's taken no accountability for it and made no change to procedure that we can see that would prevent it from happening in the future. Unquote. Hegseth refused to sit for an interview with OIG, nor was he able to turn over all messages from the Signal chat, as many had been set to delete automatically. That put OIG in a remarkable position of having to rely on the Atlantic for the full transcript of the chat. The report noted the Atlantic initially did not publish the discussion because those details potentially contained classified information. On Wednesday, the Pentagon defended Hegseth, saying the report absolved him of wrongdoing. The report, which no, it didn't, ladies and gentlemen. He's still guilty and has this on his hands. Quote, the Inspector General review is a total exoneration, which, again, ladies and gentlemen, no, it's not. That is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting, ladies and gentlemen, and video analysis update. If you did enjoy this reporting and video analysis update, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy for more legal breaking news that you need to know about. I will have much more to come very soon.